Let me reel you in with this one, alright? Hold on to the 1x1 tile that you're standing on, because I'm about to move it 3 spaces. Y'all know card games, right? We're not new here. But check it, slap some cards on a character and put them on a gridded field with randomly generated enemies, and let's do it. G-Spur Gang, welcome to Shuffle Tactics. A grim-themed, stage-based, roguelike, deck-building, turn-based RPG with little anthropomorphic characters. I did a video on a cute little game like this called Dungeon Drafters almost 10 months ago. Shuffle Tactics has similar playstyle to that game, except it's a little more roguelikey and a little bit less RPG. It also consumes a lot more brain power, a little more strategic and tactful. I played the demo for this here on Steam. The demo is still up and available, so if you're interested, it'll be linked in the description. And I had an absolute blast. I jumped into the first run and brushed through the tutorial, because I've played a deck building roguelike before. Come on. Gameplay is pretty straightforward though. You've got your stage, you've got your cards, you've got your enemies. I made it past the second node on Act 2, but just wasn't really able to power through the onslaught, and I'm really surprised that the demo even offers this much content. Like, genuinely, there is a lot in this demo. So let's take a look, shall we? Now, for the sake of the overview video, I'm going to try and not keep you guys hostage here for 20 minutes. We're going to try and speed through this a little bit. We're going to go through the playable characters that you can meet throughout the run, the story, and then the concept and gameplay, which is honestly going to be really quick. If you're looking for more info on the game, the Steam page has a really in-depth overview of the game. It's about 6 to 8 minutes long. Or you can follow them at Club Sandwich Inc. on Twitter, or just look up Shuffle Tactics on Twitter. Which, by the way, can I rant about Twitter for a minute? Don't go anywhere. I'm not going to complain about what I'm seeing on Twitter, please. I originally created Twitter to follow esports stuff, and it kind of naturally progressed into what I do now with these overview videos, and it's absolutely amazing. I'm able to see small indie devs, small games being developed by one person, little animations being developed by people, stuff in Blender, but it is so effective in the promotion scheme of indie games, and just being able to have a direct route towards something that you want to see coming out soon, how they're developing it, any updates that it has, and stuff like that. Take for instance Wardensville and Windblown, two of my most favorite games of 2024, and I guess Wardensville came out in 2025, so we'll count that a little bit as well. But my most anticipated game of 2024 was Wardensville. I discovered them on Twitter and was able to keep up with them, know that there was active playtests happening, join the community and see what's new, and just stay up to date with changes and stuff. Also take Blight Survival for example. This has been on Logan and I's wishlist for over 2.5 years now, and they are very infrequently posting little updates, little in-game blurbs. Anyway, small rant aside, I said I was going to keep this short, so let's go. So allow me to start making your mouth salivate so you can kind of start to digest and chew up what I'm throwing at you, right? You play as Dobrnight, a swordmeister who's trying to prevent the cursed corruption called Glimmer that Ogma unleashed across the entire world while trying to revive his waifu. Well, he didn't try, he succeeded, which is why the world is like this. I think that's pretty much the plot, right? I mean, is his queen, so maybe waifu's too much of a playful term, but Dobrnight is on his journey to the capital to just go beat up King Ogma for doing this to the world. But it sounds like Dobrnight knows a little bit something more than I do, because I'm not really sure how killing King Ogma would cleanse the world of this problem and restore it back to its, I guess, factory default. But he was a royal guard for King Ogma, so we'll see what that gets us. Anyways, gameplay, what are we looking at? We've got some movement points, we've got some action points. Action points are used for playing cards. Some cards are 0, 1, 2, I'm sure there's even a 3-cost card in there somewhere. I believe Dobrnight has 5 movement points. Some characters have 3, some characters have 2. I mean, Dobrnight is a melee fighter, so it makes sense for him to have a high amount of movement speed. And some people are a lot more stationary, whereas they build up turrets and shoot out long-range fire and stuff like that. We'll get into other characters in a second. Cards also have keywords which do things, obviously. You can hover over them and see what they do, but for the sake of this overview video, I'm not going to go on for 3 minutes about keywords. So let's just see what's at the end of the stage, shall we? Right after a successful completion, we can see here that we've got some rewards, right? Sometimes we have charms for cards, sometimes we have relics for us, and sometimes we have a card pack. Oh my gosh, a card pack. Ooh, it's time to crack packs, guys. Now, card charms just give a unique passive to the cards that they're on, whereas relics are a character passive. And that's honestly it. I mean, gameplay, I said, is really straightforward. As you can see on the map, we do move from west to east. The end of Act 1 here is met with a final boss, and then Act 2 similarly met with a final boss. I'm guessing there's going to be 3 acts where King Ogma is the final, but I haven't gotten that far, admittedly. It's hard. It's a really difficult game, guys. Plus, you're not supposed to beat it on your first or second or even third run because it's a roguelike. Do I need to stress this anymore? I feel like I don't have to stress this anymore, but I really just want to stress this. Roguelikes are not designed to be beaten on the first try, typically. Anyway, let's go look at these playable characters, shall we? That's right, playable characters, not NPCs. I've met 4 so far, recruited 3, and there are at least 3 more within the Steam trailer tutorial thing that they have a narrator guy who is absolutely awesome. I like listening to his voice. I wish my voice was like his.
Death comes for us all.
NPCs are met on the map with these little friend-shaped nodes. You get 1 per act and a choice of 2 when you hit this node, so choose carefully. But also once you get towards act 2, you get to upgrade these people. So they get better cards, they get different cards, stuff like that. It's pretty cool, honestly. You can kind of lead them towards an upgrade path, which I love upgrade paths. I'll only specify why I love upgrade paths so much if somebody explicitly asks me about it in the comments. Now, I've met Moon Whisper, who can burn, heal, debuff, remove debuffs, all at a medium range, which makes him just a really good, useful character to have around. It's one of those like, oh, I could just go for the full damage route, but at some point you're just gonna be so overwhelmed with so many enemies where single target attack damage per turn is just not gonna cut it. So you need to be able to have things like regen, clearing debuffs, and Moon Whisper is just great all around for the job. We also have Professor, who is a little bit similar to Moon Whisper. He has a little bit of healing, mid-ranged, applies debuffs to enemies, and applies buffs to allies. And one of the upgrade paths for the Professor is just more damage. So you can choose for the Professor to go towards a damage route or a more buff-heavy route. We also have a completely 100% dedicated healer in Vermund. Vermund I've not recruited because it is just healing. You know, you get bandages, you get places on the map that offer like regen or health extras. And it looks like buffing with things outside of damage, which is like, I guess it's utility buffing, where it's not just like a direct flat increase to damage. It's an increase to movement speed, you know, effects when playing cards, I think, maybe +1 action. So this is like 100% the support character, where Moon Whisper and the Professor are more like half damage, half utility healing stuff. And then finally, super fun to mess around with Ember Whiskers, which you're not going to believe what they actually do. Trust. So it's a cat that shoots fire and expands fire. But they do more than just shoot fire, as they put fire on the ground, on the tiles, and then can explode it and stoke the fire and make it big and just burn stuff. It's pretty cool. All right, gang, I might have overstayed my welcome here a little bit, but it's an actual overview video, which I haven't done in a while, so I like talking about this stuff. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you're looking for more in-depth stuff like this, let me know. Whereas if you're looking for more just kind of blurb stuff like this Castle v Castle video I did 2 weeks ago, which huge thank you, so much love from that video. I think that is really one of the huge boosts I needed for just myself and doing this kind of stuff. So that really keeps me motivated, so thank you. But yeah, if you're more interested in stuff like that, please let me know. So once more, the Shuffle Tactics Steam page is linked in the description below. So if you're looking for a more strategic, tactical, brain power usage, deck builder, roguelike, this is absolutely the game for you. Plus the demo has a lot to offer, so if you don't know if you're into it, try the demo. It's freaking amazing. As usual, check out the second channel. My Overstock channel is full of stuff. Every single week, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Time, brand new Funny Moments video. I have so much backlog for that channel, I might have to start doing double uploads a week towards this latter half of this year, but we'll see. A lot of love going over to that channel, so I appreciate it. A podcast goes up tomorrow as usual, so check out Questionable Quality Crew on Spotify and YouTube, and I guess I'll see you guys next week. What do you think? All right, have a good one.